Morning Live as we continue with a discussion on the spiraling out of moral compass of South Africa. We've spoken about where the nation is at this current moment, and we are still joined by activist for moral regeneration, Chris Mathebula. On the other hand, we also have Liezl Groenewald, of course, from the Ethics Institute, talking about ethics, morals, as well as values. Now, an important aspect, you made mention of it just in passing. Parents and guardians, what is their role? Obviously, they have a role to play. Where do they even start? What are the basics to ensure that morals and good behavior is instilled in their children?
Well, as you know, morals, that is the standards and the principles according to which we conduct our lives and make our decisions according to those values. But the parents have to start with instilling those values, but they do so by leading by example. If children, when they see parents drinking too much, for example, they might do the same. When they see parents stealing, it seems to them as if that is the right behavior.
So we need to be role models.
We need to be role models continuously, and not, for example, skip the traffic light, but then tell your child, you follow the law. Don't do this.
All right, Pastor Chris.
And not only that, we need parents to be involved. It has been said that a parent will spend only 37 seconds, with their children a day. Parents, they need to be involved. Before we even ask them to do that, they need to know that it is their role. Today, our children, they are parented by media, your cell phone, your gadgets and all these things. Nobody's parenting them. And our children, they've gotten access of these things, your pornography and all these things. At the end of the day, we get surprised when we have a monster in the house because the parents, they were not there. And now these boys and these girls have turned into something else. How do you explain an issue of a child who just take a book and then smack at the teacher?
Yeah.
Where are the parents? Where are the parents? I would love to hear the statement from the parents, because these are the things that we need to deal with, because if we don't deal with them in a private space, they will expose us in a public space.
Yeah, true.
But they will probably say, the parents, that we didn't know. We taught our children to do the right thing, but they are not there. We find that workaholic parents, that their children, you get these very well-behaved children in front of their parents, and then when they go out, they turn into little monsters.
You may be a good parent to your child and teach them good manners, but when they go outside, there's peer pressure amongst other things.
Yeah, but they don't, often parents don't, they think when they can give money, when those children, they have money, they can go to the mall, they can play the games, they have an iPhone X, what, that's going to make the child happy. But children need that emotional support. They need time, quality time with their parents. Otherwise, they seek someone else, and that is the friends where they feel they belong.
It's true. But what about our leaders? For example, Gauteng Community Safety MEC Sizakele Nkosi-Malobane described Zodo Abantu as a disgrace to the future generation. And it looks like leaders are not saying anything about such behaviors, even the society.
Yeah, we've never said anything about that. Now, she went to Zambia. What happened in Zambia?
They said no.
They said no, you're not going to do this thing. These are leaders who are taking their role in that nation. We are not protected in this country. Let me tell you, there are movies that have been brought in this nation that I strongly believe they are not even supposed to be watched by children. And what we have done, we've allowed that. Nobody's monitoring these movies, what is happening. As long as this thing is bringing money, we are just concerned about that. And this is the price that we pay at the end of the day. I strongly believe that if you are a leader, you are putting walls in the city. You make sure that what is in the inside, it is protected, and what is on the outside does not come in. That is what a leader should do.
Let's also look at the socio-economic circumstances that other people find themselves in, more so looking at trends such as that of blessers, for example. Do we blame it on poverty, Pastor Chris, that as a parent you know that you're not well off, but your child comes home with expensive handbags, or they even come driving cars, but they're not even employed?
In Zulu City, Ugusa, both sides. These people, you've got a man who is doing well. Instead of empowering these girls in a proper way, take them to school, you take advantage of them because they are desperate.
And what's that saying about the morals of all the
Exactly. It tells you that this is a person who does not even deserve to be in our community.
And who wouldn't want that happening to their own children, isn't it?
Exactly. You know, the question certainly is just to come in. You know, I've asked somebody, I said to them, when you say it is okay for our daughters to work as sex workers, I asked this leader, what if your own daughter says to you, I want to become a sex worker? What would you say? And he says, no. I said, you see, we are not fair when it comes to other people's children, you know, but to our own, we're comfortable, you know, or vice versa. I mean.
It's dehumanizing, you know, for those people, it's dehumanizing. The children that are molested, they lose self-respect. You know, they feel distance from society, and then it feels as if no one is actually looking after them.
That's true.
And that takes them into could take them into a whole different spiral, unless someone steps in, someone like Pastor Chris's church, you know, step in and help the young people to find the direction that they so desperately need, because they don't have the role models anymore.
Yeah, we were, as we were discussing this interview, obviously during one of our briefings in the office, where majority of us are black, of course, in the office, viewers, of course, came out, many saying that it looks like all these horrible things are confined to us as blacks.
Yeah.
Would you agree that these things are only happening to us, the blesses, bentens, prostitution, these horrible things, are they only confined to us, the black society?
Well, not exactly, but to a certain extent, you know, I'll say because of the numbers that we have in South Africa, you know, and then it's happening more. But in other countries, it is happening. Even in the white community, it is happening, you know. But obviously it's happening in big numbers here because of what is happening. We've got more people, black people, and at the end of the day, we don't even know how to manage that. We don't even know how to deal with that. But I have worked as well with the white community, you know, and this is not a racial issue.
Yeah.
But I've observed some of the good principles, the way they've raised their children, the way they follow and honor the law. They stop on the traffic side, you know, and then you look at our guys, our taxi drivers, they don't honor the road. Our children, they do crazy thing and all that. You know, my observation is that they are able, you find this father at the Pick and Pay, when the boy, he's not behaving, you know, he's giving this little boy a smack at the bum to say, you're not going to do that.
Put them
Now today what is happening, I'm not even supposed to say no to my daughter. I'm not supposed. And these are the things that are actually killing our nation. You know, so I can learn from Liz. There are great things that they've done, and then she can also learn from me. If we put those thoughts together, we can build this nation and move it forward.
All right, so it's not even about poverty, because
it's not even.
If you come across traffic officers and they're about to issue a fine on such alcohol drink,
exactly,
that's what it is.
Exactly, and then we find about. I grew up in a place where there was nothing for me, but I rose above all those things. Here am I today, and I'm a man. I'm looking after my children.
All right.
Poverty is not an issue.
Unfortunately, we have to leave it at that due to time constraints. But thank you so much for coming through. Many thanks to Liezl Groenewald from the Ethics Institute, as well as Pastor Chris Mathebula, an activist, of course, for moral regeneration. We're taking a quick break. Your news at 8 will follow. Stay tuned.